Welcome to Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. My name is Doug, and today I have a simple, delicious recipe. It's actually my favorite pasta dish. I just love it. It's so good, and it's not what you may expect. So stay tuned. Okay, so what's the name of this dish? It's called pasta con pomodori al forno, which basically means baked tomatoes and pasta. So this is so delicious, guys. You're going to love it, and it's super easy to do. So what do we need to make our delicious meal here? Well, first of all, I'm going to be using spaghetti. I like keeping my spaghetti in these airtight containers. I also have a label down here what kind of pasta it is and how long to cook it. So this is spaghetti. It needs to be cooked for 9 minutes. So I'm going to be using probably about half a pound, half a box of spaghetti for this dish. I am using 10 ounces of these cherry tomatoes. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be slicing these in half, adding some extra virgin olive oil to them, a little Italian seasoning, and also garlic powder, plus, very important, Italian breadcrumbs. So we're going to be doing that in just a little bit. I am going to be using some garlic toes. I'm going to be using basil. This is probably a fourth cup of basil leaves. You don't have to chop this up. We can just use them whole like this. This is approximately a fourth of a cup of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. This is my favorite cheese. I just love Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. And then we're going to be using about half a tablespoon or so of pepperoncino, which is basically red crushed pepper flakes. And I believe that is it. Of course, we're using extra virgin olive oil for our sauce. We're going to be using our pasta water to help make the sauce. And let's just get cooking. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is start heating up your pasta water over here. We want to bring it to a boil. Then we're going to add our pasta. We also have our oven preheating to around 325 degrees because we're going to be baking our tomatoes. So I already got my tomatoes and I washed them. Make sure you wash your tomatoes. And what we're doing is we're just going to be slicing them in half. Very easy. You want a nice sharp knife to do this so it goes quickly. Okay, perfect. So I already cut up my tomatoes in half. I'm going to put them back in this bowl here. Put them back in this bowl. And I just love cherry tomatoes. Very yummy. Okay, so now what I want to do with my cherry tomatoes is I'm going to add some extra virgin olive oil to it. Just going to sprinkle it. We're going to add a little bit of garlic powder for some flavor. A little bit of Italian seasoning, just a little bit, give it a little sprinkle. One thing that's super important with your spices, always check the date. You don't want to keep spices too long. So I'm just doing a little sprinkle on the top of there. And then very important, we have our Italian style breadcrumbs. I'm using the Progresso brand. And basically I just kind of coat the top and maybe a little bit more. And then what you want to do is just mix it with your hands. Make sure your hands are always clean when you're cooking and baking. And that looks pretty good. Okay, looks like my water is boiling back there. I'm going to add some salt. You want to salt your water really well. And let me add my pasta. Now, one thing I love to use is my pasta spoon here that kind of breaks up the strands. My mom, I know I mentioned this in the other video, my mom used to add olive oil, but you really don't need to do that. I don't really think it does anything. People say it does. I never had any issue. So that's basically what I do as far as it not sticking. Just use a pasta spoon, stir it every once in a while, and then when it's done, that's all. You do want to reserve some of that pasta water because we are going to be needing it for the sauce. Now, let me show you what we're going to do with our tomatoes here. So I have some parchment paper, and I have a baking sheet here, baking pan. It does have a lip. I would suggest using one with a lip, and the reason why is because of the olive oil. If you have a flat one, it should still be okay, but I like using the one with the lip. And you want to separate your tomatoes, because you just cut them. You want just the halves to be showing. And I like just putting them facing up, the flat side facing upwards. And make sure they're nicely coated with that, with the breadcrumbs. Yum. All right. So I'm going to place it in my oven. You want your oven to be preheated to around 325 degrees. We're going to bake this for approximately 20 to 30 minutes, really. It should take about that long, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done, so you know when yours is done. Stay tuned. Okay, so while our pasta is cooking back there and our tomatoes are in the oven, I'm going to get some garlic toast, and I'm going to be using about 5. So I got about 5 garlic toes here that are very large, well, pretty large, and I'm going to slice them. So I'm going to do some really thin slices on the garlic toes. Now you might say, can you mince them? For this, I would use them a little bit more, well, just sliced like this. Slice them about maybe a little less than 1/8 of an inch. You don't want them too thick, of course. You want them thinly sliced. Okay. So there are my 5 garlic toes that have been sliced. And let me do this one just a little bit more. Oh, it's already okay. Let me start working on our sauce. Okay, so get yourself a really large frying pan. We're going to place extra virgin olive oil at the base. You want definitely enough to coat the bottom and a little bit more. So depending on the size of your pan, but you can see how much that is. I'm just going to add just a little bit more, because don't forget this is going to be the sauce. And we want to heat this up really nicely. My pasta is almost done, and you want to use that pasta water for this sauce. So let's take a look. Okay, so I have this on a medium heat. I'm going to add my garlic. Give that a nice stir. My pasta is ready, so I'm turning off the heat. We want to cook our garlic for about a minute. Keep stirring it while it's in the pan. Okay, so what I'm going to add to my garlic here, some peperoncino. Now, peperoncino is kind of hot, so you want to use what you can handle. This was about half of a tablespoon. If you use a teaspoon, that would work really nicely too. It wouldn't be as hot. I want mine just a little bit spicier than usual. And now we're going to add the pasta water. Now the reason why we're adding the pasta water is because of the starch. And hear that sizzle? That's what you want. Maybe I'm adding about 3 ladles. I'm going to add my pasta now. So I'm just taking it from the pot. You want your pasta to be cooked al dente. And what we're going to do, we're not going to add our cheese yet because you don't want to add your cheese to the flame, while it's cooking. You want to add it. You want to take this pasta off the flame and then add your cheese. So I'm just mixing it all together. That pasta is going to start to soak up that yummy sauce. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt, probably about a teaspoon, maybe half a teaspoon of black pepper. Give that a toss. And then we're going to add our basil. Remember to wash that basil. Look how pretty it looks. We're going to take it off the flame and we're going to add the cheese and then we're going to add our tomatoes. It's off the flame. Remember that was about 1/4 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. That looks good. Now we're going to add our tomatoes. Now something that is super important to this dish is ricotta cheese or ricotta cheese. Now I'm using just the store-bought ricotta cheese, Galbani brand. What I did was I just did a scoop of the cheese, and what I'm doing with the knife is I'm just cutting really thin slices for my ricotta cheese that we're going to just lay on top of the pasta. You don't want to stir this in. You want it to look pretty on top of the dish. Okay, so I have my slices here. And now we're going to add the tomatoes, fix it up, and plate it. It's going to be so delicious. Stay tuned. Okay, so I took the tomatoes out of the oven. They look great. This is basically what they look like. And I am just placing them in the pasta. And they were in there for around 25 minutes, so 25 to 30 minutes. I think you should be good. I love the look of that tomatoes in this pasta dish. I'm gonna give that a little mix now. Very nice. And now we're going to plate it. My mouth is watering. I don't know about yours, but oh, look at that. Let me give it a nice little swirl. Get some extra tomatoes on top. You want to top it with some ricotta cheese. So I'm just placing a few slices, making it look really pretty. And see how easy this dish is, and the presentation is really pretty. And I'm telling you, it looks so delicious. Take a look at that. And I cannot wait for a bite. Grab a tomato and some cheese. My favorite pasta dish, because it's so easy and so delicious. Oh my gosh, so good. Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us on Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas today. Remember, if you want that homey vibe, you need to subscribe, and please give this video a like. Until next time, my friends, happy healthy living. Bye-bye.